Collective, and welcome to my reading here at Inner Sanctuary. So on this one, I felt called to draw a couple of cards before I started and just tuning into the energy that I could pick up on. So this will be a reading for, it's not a pick a card, it's just a reading for whoever feels called to it. So the two first cards that came to me was Adar and Raven. And what I hear when I look at the cards and what I see is this really, really deep transformation, and possibly for several a Kundalini awakening. I also feel that the people who's going to be drawn to this reading already have experience with Kundalini awakening, but there's so many layers to that. So this is a really deep transformation. Adar is a symbol of both death and rebirth, and the other world, and it's also that Kundalini awakening force of energy. I see this. I see the image of the snake being like really following a cave down into the earth and just using its senses to squeeze itself further. Not sure where it will go, just having its own senses to follow, and then seeing that gleam of light, knowing that it's knowing that it's close to an opening where it can come through, and even pushing itself through, like how that's the great thing for a snake. It's very flexible. So it's that feeling of the skin being like pushed on all sides from the cave, from the stones around it, like really molding it through, and then even shedding its skin as it goes through, like shedding all the old skin as it pushes through. Hello, Collective, and welcome to my reading here at Inner Sanctuary. So on this one, I felt called to draw a couple of cards before I started and just tuning into the energy that I could pick up on. So this will be a reading for, it's not a pick a card, it's just a reading for whoever feels called to it. So the two first cards that came to me was Adar and Raven. And what I hear when I look at the cards and what I see is this really, really deep transformation, and possibly for several a Kundalini awakening. I also feel that the people who's going to be drawn to this reading already have experience with Kundalini awakening, but there's so many layers to that. So this is a really deep transformation. Adar is a symbol of both death and rebirth, and the other world, and it's also that Kundalini awakening force of energy. I see this. I see the image of the snake being like really following a cave down into the earth and just using its senses to squeeze itself further. Not sure where it will go, just having its own senses to follow, and then seeing that gleam of light, knowing that it's knowing that it's close to an opening where it can come through. And then with the Raven here, and those two together as well, I really see this as it's an invitation to go deeper, and possibly for some of you, you're gonna feel called to go to either be initiated into another, into a new area for you in the healing arts, the mystic arts, or to just on your own, either inside, inside yourself, or also physically be going on a journey that takes you to, brings you to a deeper knowledge and a healing. It's fascinating because, I mean, the raven in this image is basically in exactly the same, it's fall, almost I'd say it's winter in this image, fall to winter, which is the same time we're in now. It's like such a samhain, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right in English, samhain, transition card. And the raven is really inviting you to trust that, to trust, you know, like the voices of the other world and the spirit world, drawing you deeper into that, into your own shadows, and into transformation. Like, follow the raven's journey into the dark so it can be healed and transformed. Okay, let me get some more cards. I feel these want to come through. This one. And also, I just want to say, because a lot of the times how we readers and healers are feeling ourselves, sometimes that's connected to also, you know, the people that will be attracted to this reading. And personally, I dived into so much deeper layers of shadow work that I already thought I had, you know, had done the circle on, had done a lot of, and it's just like that kind of other snake energy just taking me deeper and further into it. And there haven't been really any trying to just, you know, pretend it's not there, doesn't work, because it's like those shadow aspects of us that are still holding us back, they kind of demand to be seen now and demand to be, you know, for you to put them up in the light so that they can be healed and alchemized, and so that it actually can become a good part of, well, it's already a good part, but it can become assistance and help on our journeys and not something that holds us back from it. Okay, interesting. So Isis is coming through with the Divine Sunchild, blessings of the Sun Falcon. And also the raven is, another symbol of the raven is healing. So you have the falcon and the raven here. And then it's talisman of potency, charging sacred objects of power. So I don't always go by the names of the cards. But this card to me, usually when it comes up in a reading, talks about either connecting to a crystal or a stone, or charging, doing exactly what they suggest, charging an object, or even just going within to find that kind of power anchor for yourself, anchoring the truth in your heart. And it's fascinating. I actually never saw how she has a falcon headdress on her here. Like, she has the snake, but she also have the wings. Both of them being such a powerful symbol of the third eye and the awakening, and of transformation. I don't know why, but I got kind of, it's like this fog, just a heavy fog came over me. It might be my own. If anyone's been feeling that lately, it might be just a confirmation for you as well. Like you're into something, you're doing something, or you want to do something, and then you just get this kind of, almost like you don't even remember what you're doing, kind of heavy fog coming over you. As I said, that the light was flickering. So, and it's almost like that as well, actually. That to me, though, it feels like that inner light, that inner flame, that personally for me can be really strong. I am, I have my purpose, and yeah, and that fire can be quite strong. Then suddenly it's like it's almost not there at all. It's so extinguished or flickering. And spirit is coming through now to let us know. This resonates with me as well. That's just another part of the awakening. That's almost like the snake seeing the light a bit, but then the tunnel, but then the tunnel is still not over, so maybe it takes a turn and maybe it's all dark again. And that inner shadow aspect, that is, I usually say in you, but I want to say us because this is also really relatable to me. That is in us, that still is afraid to be seen, or still is afraid to shine your light in whatever way you are called to shine your light, and openly show the world why you're here. There's still a part of that shadow aspect still resisting, and still, because for that part, the only way to keep us safe, to try to keep you safe, is also, it kind of uses everything it has, every tool it has. And one of those tools can be like to make us feel fatigued, make us feel like, is there any point? Am I really any good at this? Like, why am I doing this? Give us the imposter, or we are the one giving us that, but just kind of almost like make a, like, I don't know, for some reason sometimes when I picture inner resistance, I picture it as this French resistance woman from the Second World War, and how she's like lighting a matchstick under a little bomb, under this little thing, so that it can blow up and get really big in your face. And it feels a bit like that, like it's, even though it can be a quite minor thing, or if you even try to understand that resistance with your logical mind, you will be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Why am I scared of that? I'm, like, I worked with this and this, I'm blah, blah, blah. Why? This is like nothing. This should not scare me. And then at the same time, there's that acknowledging and going into that shadow and really, being open to meet those parts of us without judgment, that for some reason still is afraid of that. Maybe there's an inner wounded child there. I mean, possibly, but also there can be other parts of us, and there's so many layers to that. I'm sure I'm speaking for a lot of women or men who would watch this reading, when, like, if you're into past lives, or if you call it, or if you believe it's all on this different timelines, but there's been, for me personally, it's been rounds of the witch wounds, the wounded healer and the witch wound, and different shaman lives where people around me also got punished and killed for me doing what I personally thought was the best, or for trying to help. And also other lives, being seen as a performer or things like that, and then being stopped in it or being punished for it, and even worse for some of those, feeling like the people we love get punished for it. So that creates a whole kind of, it creates a lot of fear around success and being seen, and even being seen for helping. And yeah, and then we all have our own childhood and upbringing that that kind of adds to that. So yeah, what I'm feeling here is like, for a lot of you're at the place where you're like, yeah, but I done that, I looked at that, I worked with that. Come on, like, how many layers of that onion can it possibly be? And then there's still this kind of blind spots, like you know, like there's still these areas where we just haven't been able to see because it's been something else standing even bigger in front of that. What I'm also hearing and feeling is that resistance and that where it used to take much more time and where it could be months or even years to work through a certain theme, it's like now we get flushed. No, not flushed is not the right word, but we get like soaked in a lot of it at the same time, like different themes, shadow themes. And then we also work through them so much quicker because we've been through it. We kind of done that dance, so we also learn how to, you know, not resist it and actually go through it and listen to it and then let it transform. So divine sun child and blessings of the sun falcon, that's really a confirmation about that's what's about to happen or already happening in your life. The falcon, to me, I love the falcon, and he is such a great spirit animal to work with. A bit similar to the eagle, but still it's more like a feminine energy through it. I feel the eagle has more of a pineal, what you call it, third eye, masculine energy, which is just as good, but different from the falcon, who has a more feminine approach into the higher vision and going for your targets. Although, ironically, you know, in Isis and in the Egyptian world, the god, the falcon god, is a man. And in the Druidism, the falcon, another word for a falcon, has been Merlin, which also is a very powerful, you know, ascended master who might want to come through. See. I don't know why I felt for pulling one more of the C's card, but I just suddenly did. So, divine solar child reborn, rising sun. That's kind of interesting here with the sun child and the divine solar child reborn. What I get from it is, it's not so much about, obviously some of you might be pregnant or might be very fertile right now, but what I'm getting in this sense is more, again, that Kundalini awakening, but also what's with me in words today? No, not Empress. What's going on? It's words I know so well. Yeah, I guess Empress energy. I just suddenly, I don't know, all the words left my brain. I'm still in resistance mood. So, yeah, it's this Empress feeling. I wouldn't be surprised if she shows up later, but it's this feeling of something that's really near and dear to you, as of a project or a new beginning, being born. It's that blessing. It's not, I don't get the feeling so much of it like just starting out in you. I feel more like this is something you've been carrying, like you would carry a child, and now you're reborn. Now you're birthing it. I feel it's the alchemization. Is that the right word? It's the alchemical transformation of those parts of you that's been in resistance to come up and collaborate and be a full and acknowledged part of who you are. Because really those parts is, as well as, I mean, they can be, when they get the chance to be seen and their wounds to be healed, there's such a power there. It's, I mean, it's the gold coming up. If you have this tarot deck. So some druid cards wanting to come through, which is interesting regarding the Merlin energy I can sense now. And also, yeah, it's really old. Old powerful magician energy that's within you. Justice. Justice is sitting here with the eagle. It's so beautiful. I love the eagle. No, the eagle. Seriously, the owl. I don't know what's with my mind today. Sitting here with the owl, and just down here, it doesn't even look like an owl feather though. It looks more like an eagle feather. And then it's a spider spinning its web. And this whole kind of Viking look on the justice also kind of gives me the feeling of the Norns. And you know, the Norns and justice is already quite related in the form of like how justice will judge, and the Norns is spinning their webs, their karma webs, trying to help you, you know, unless you've been generally trying to do bad stuff or, you know, hurting people, then it might come back to hurt you. But it's not the feeling I get here. I get the sense that you'll find a deeper balance between your mind and between the mind and your emotions. The weight here is like it's made like a chalice, and the sword really looks like, I don't know the YouTube rules for what I can say and what I can't say, but well, it looks like balls. So the inner masculine and the inner feminine, the mental and the emotional, the outer and the inner, balancing. She's sitting on what looks like the entrance to a cave or to a burial site, which also is like this kind of reborn energy with here. Two of Cups. Yeah, I get two things here. So I do get that for some of you, this whole Kundalini awakening, the fire in you awakening again, and the transformation you're going through, and also this feeling of a blessing is connected to a higher level. So much talk around. I think I want to rephrase it as to the connection or the meeting between a divine counterpart. That doesn't have to mean it's a soulmate, and it doesn't have to mean you're supposed to be together forever. It just means that there's a person that is the right person for you where you are on your journey right now. Then also, and what I see for more of you is that it's about the choice, and again it's like almost like it's balancing out the justice card, also with the colors here and where they're standing. Yeah, it's this union of your inner feminine and masculine, which almost feels like cliche to say. And that, you know, like having been feeling really torn, like having been feeling like you know what you want to do, but then at the same time you keep holding yourself back from it, or you keep almost losing the passion in it, or you know, it's too much fear surrounding it for you to do it. That kind of war between the mind and the soul, or between yeah, it's I feel like this is like the celebration. This is like feeling like you're in that choice between what you should do. And usually this can be the card of a choice as well, but I see it more as actually a union, a peace of mind and a union, and a knowing of there's on some level there's gonna be where you felt stagnant and where you felt unsure about how to move forward. Like this raven, in a way, it's like, I don't know, that's just me making up a story maybe, but to me now it seems like it's stuck on this side. It wants to go to the peak there, it wants to go to the mountain, but it's stuck on this side, kind of looking back for its friends and being like, well, but how do I cross over? And then it forgot that it can just, it can just fly over. It's a raven. I don't think it want to swim, but at least it could fly. And also it's on the picture, it kind of looks like it's on a branch, but it looks like it's on the ground. Like it, it forgot that it can just fly. So it's that mental war going on where you actually are really good at something and you have easily access to it, but you talked yourself down. It's a war of the minds where part of you make you feel like you can't do it. So something is gonna come in, either if this is in a like physical sense, and it's about work, it's about where you are and where you're gonna go, like what's gonna be your next step. Something is gonna come in with the justice here that makes you that gives you what you need to take that next step, and to take that choice and to do it with joy, with love. If this is about the counterpart, and you've been debating, if it's someone you already either had either been dating or been on and off with, not sure what's the best next step to take, an insight will arrive. Either something they do or something you pick up, or just a knowing inside you that makes you finally go from from being in that kind of, I want to go but I can't go, or I don't know where to go, I don't know, should I choose him, should I not choose him. Something will happen pretty soon that will make that choice quite obvious for you. And 11th, so somewhere between 2 or 11 days from now, or possibly the 2nd or 11th of October. But I have a feeling that this is, generally this is about the near future. So, and time is always, fluctuating, but I'd say 2 to 11 days from now, that's gonna settle. And she's all green and blue, and green is such a heart chakra energy. And also I get Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael with his colors, and really just that support from Isis. If you're feeling drawn to Isis or the other, the Hathors or Sekhmet, Mat, the Egyptian goddesses, then this might also be a sign for you to look more into that. For me, they've been really helping me through, especially this last year. It's like been working a lot with Isis and a lot with Sekhmet, and they do come through in my meditations, and it's like this ascended master energy for them as well. Also sign-wise, if you see a raven, a falcon, or an owl, you might just hear the owl the next days. That's also spirit reaching out to you and giving you a sign. And here we have the lady, the empress. Was kind of as I suspected seeing these cards. What did I tell you? No, I'm just kidding. I actually love this one. It's such a symbol of birthing. You know, it's such a symbol of creativity. Like even in a dream, if you dream about being it, more often than not, it will be about you birthing a new project or you birthing something that you care deeply about, something that is like a child for you. And she's in her final stages, sitting so abundantly on her throne. And I actually never saw this, but she had like a star. What do you call that? Like the, not a hat, but the star. Oh my god. Headband around her head. And then this foot is not fully in the water, but it is kind of almost in the water. Yeah, she's just so abundant. The flower around her is herbs that are healing and good. She's sitting there with her hay, with her corn, which wouldn't be abundant to me, being allergic to gluten, but it is it's a very fertile and beautiful symbol. I don't know why she's looking down like that. Like she's sitting on a throne. She has, I want to say, everything. The beautiful nature, gorgeous dress, beautiful woman, lady, with like food. She had fruits and flowers and herbs and her baby in this instance, or her pregnancy. And you know, like I would imagine she would look really empowered, but for some reason she's looking down, like she's, it could be that she's like sad, but I get more the sense that she's looking at it this time. I get the sense that she's shy, like she's, and it's not necessarily shy as in the hi, I'm afraid to say my name kind of thing. It's more shy of her talents, you know, like it has another English word I believe, but being yeah, she's, yeah, it's the whole theme of this reading. She's holding back, like instead of proudly showing her gifts and her, you know, her project, her baby. She's kind of, you know, she's looking to the side and looking down. And even with the stars on her head, it's like, wow. And all the green, all the love energy. And I don't get the feeling that this is not about regretting anything. It's more that it's that imposter syndrome. She's a prehistoric imposter syndrome gal. Even beautiful waterfall in the background. And clover, it's also abundant. So yeah, so she's, I say she, but I want to say, do you feel like you've been in a place with all this shadow work and integration going on and the constant reminders or wounds coming up, making you feel like you're not good enough, or you don't have enough knowledge, or you shouldn't be seen, or, you know, not liking what you see when you look in the mirror because you for some reason see things that probably the rest of us wouldn't see, or even what we call in Norway janteloven, that feeling of like, well, yeah, I might be talented on this, or I might have that, but I shouldn't show it off, you know, like for some of you there might be also this pattern of you know, when it comes to abundance and manifesting, it might also still be a lingering partner in your DNA, or you know, or from just family, from your life right now around. Oh, and now disappeared from my head. Wow. Around yeah, janteloven in Norwegian. I don't know the English word for that, but basically it's like you shouldn't think you're better than anyone. You shouldn't think you are something. You shouldn't think you're good at something. It's like this misunderstood conception of being humble, because obviously you can be humble and still proud of who you are and your resources and your talents and gifts. And so yeah, so the message here, I'm waffling too long on this, but the message here is really, you know, chin up. You are good enough. You're abundant. Like, you don't see it yourself yet, but you're so full of abundance, and you're creating life, whether actual life or life through living your purpose, through healing or sharing your gifts, whatever they are. So, you know, let people see that light. Let people see you as the star you are. Ooh, yes. Eight of Wands. You know all this. I think if you're watching this probably already is something you've been dealing a lot with. And I think you probably also know that that's a theme for you, that although you have unique gifts and talents that should be proudly, not in an egocentric way, but just, you know, honor them and showing them to the world. Like, here I am, this is me. Still been this old patterns holding you back from that. But now with the Eight of Wands, that transformation is gonna come so quick. And, you know, I see you, that's you just throwing your dream out there, or throwing your intention, or, you know, like, or actual, your company, or your throwing your baby, throwing whatever you want to show to the world. You know, like, look at this, it's just gonna go. It's that feeling of the mixture of intention and freedom, and it's almost like a fool's energy in this card for me. It's like he's not jumping off the cliff, but he's throwing, or she's throwing her spear, and she has, look at her, she has like 7 more. So I think probably you've been like really harnessing, nurturing, creating several, it can be a mix of dreams and manifestations, things you want to manifest, and actually ideas for work, you know, ideas for something creative that you wanna give out to the world. And yeah, 7 of them. So what's coming through is that there's not all 8 is necessarily hitting the target, you know, at the first throw. But that's the thing, like, you got your head in the game now, your head in the ball, your head in the game. And you have your intention, and you know, you learned the hard way, or you know, the good way, that to get the bow to go even stronger and harder towards the target, it needs to be drawn further backwards. And you've been doing that. You've been going backwards, healing everything that possibly could stand in your way for this really deep wish to come through. You've been healing and transforming that, so that now, instead of holding you back, when this kind of last puzzle piece is coming, for some of you with the sword and all the clouds here, it's like a message, or and the birds as well, a message or email, something coming to you mentally, and also here. So yeah, so you, if this was a bow as well, I guess it's the same. I never was a good spear tosser, but I used to be an archer. So it's the same thing, like to get the, you know, your spear to really move through the air, you need to have both the strength and the sight, and you need to pull it far enough back so you get enough momentum to throw it forward. And that's what you're doing now. Before the reading, I, you know, just meditating on this reading, kind of, or getting ready, I got an image of a horse, a beautiful big white horse, stallion energy, and it was so ready to, you know, to just blast through the fields, to just run over this like beautiful green British looking fields. But it was like something was holding it back, and it wasn't something visible on it, but in the image it was like I almost could see these kind of energy cords still holding on it. So if you still have a sense of that it's something, especially on your back, or, you know, like on the back side of your body, holding you back, ask Archangel Michael to come in and help you clear those cords, if you like to work with angels. And if you don't, that's totally fine. It's all energies anyway. Another tips is to do a ritual asking for Sekhmet's help, and asking her to use her sacred fire, to, so you can visualize that you actually take the belief systems or the energy cords that is still holding you back, and even asking her to show you what's still in my way. And then, with her permission, which you will get probably, you visualize that you put those things that are holding you back into her sacred fire, and that they are transformed. And Sekhmet is such a brave warrior queen. You know, she really value bravery and going out of your comfort zone and doing things that are challenging you. So she's, you know, she's the cool one to talk to with things like that. And she, you know, she might not do it in the gentle way. That's the thing. Like, you might, it's a bit of working with dragon energy, which is another way to do that, where it's more like you'll definitely burn away what shouldn't be there anymore. Just be aware that sometimes that can involve more things than we are aware of, and it's all coming in to help you. But it might, you know, it's a bit, sometimes that eclipse energy where the help can be a bit like a tower moment, in good ways, and sometimes in a bit more challenging ways. Yeah. Celebration. I hope these cards are still visible. Celebration, playfulness. And I know there's another one wanting to come through. Oh, they're so cute and innocent in this one. Soulmate. So yeah, if this reading with the chalices and with the, you know, rising divine solar child reborn, if it is about the divine counterpart, then what it's telling me is that, and if you've been wishing to meet that divine counterpart for you. If that's one of these wands that she or he is throwing, then this reading is a confirmation for me that you will, you know, I don't want to say hit the target in that sense, but it's more like you will align and you will attract that person to your life, which is also with the celebration and the playfulness here and the soulmate. This card is also to me very much the same as the Two of Cups. So if it's not about the divine counterpart, or some, you know, about a love relationship, it's more about you finding that union within yourself to finally, again, to move forward, to throw your intentions, your projects out there and celebrate, because it's gonna, as soon as you get started, as soon as you go through with this, you're gonna feel so good that you wanna celebrate, and you're gonna finally connect to that playful energy again, which also, just looking a bit on some of the cards, might have been hard to reach through for the, I get a feeling that the last weeks or month, that kind of playfulness has been like, where did it go? Why? What happened to my happiness? Why is it so hard for me to feel genuinely joyful about something right now? Like, I know I'm grateful for this and this, but I just can't really feel the joy around it. My voice is a bit wobbly. So that's another thing, like the celebration and the playfulness about finally sharing your truth and having that union within you. I want to draw a bit more cards just to clarify if this is like, you know, this could also be about work, or let me see. What is this divine union about? I keep shuffling the card way more than I usually do. I feel like everything that happens in a reading is significant. It's, again, that thing about trusting the process. So here we have the fates, actually, the Norns, the weavers of fates, and also the Maid Mother Crown energy, which, how I see it, is, you know, a beautiful part of all of us women, I want to say, but I don't want to exclude anyone. But, you know, like, as a male, you have different, we have a lot of the same, but also different energies that is easier, more natural for us to tap into. So 10 of Wands, oppression, and just this, I mean, 10 of Wands, we usually know how that feels, but in this card it's kind of, I don't fully know words. Oh, I lift it up and it's out of the camera. No. Do you see that critical stance and, you know, demeanor on the king standing there? And this is almost like, before I seen it as a, you know, as a cave, or as a, but now it almost looks to me like an eye. And it's this process, you know, like, it's just, it talks to me about being your own worst critic and finally getting free from that, and almost like you can get into a third position where you actually see both. You see how you have been hurting yourself with being that perfectionistic, with being such a perfectionist and being so strict on a lot of stuff that you don't even, it doesn't matter. It's all in your head. And how you've been juggling kind of stretching yourself backwards to meet those demands. And in the past, if this relates to a work project situation where you're birthing something that's important for you, whether it's starting your own company or writing your own script, or finishing your own script, or like starting a channel, or birthing something that is deeply connected to your purpose, there's been a lot of projection going on, where this kind of king father figure, for some of you that might resonate with your childhood too, having a father figure, or early on in your work life having had a boss that kind of just confirmed your own inner critic. For others of you, you really had a father who were really critical, or a mother, but here it's masculine, but critical, narcissistic in his behavior, and really like criticizing so much of who you truly were, and not acknowledging you as the divine, person you were. So that although as a grown-up you know this and you don't want to follow it, it's still in the back of your mind became this kind of harsh and rigid person who just, as soon as you want to do anything that can put you in a position of making a fool of yourself, or being criticized, he will be like, no way, you're not doing that, or just reminding you about all the ways you could fail. So this has been a hermit's journey, a journey for at least, probably for a lot of you, the last year, the last 9 months. It's been this like deep shadow work journey in the dark, guided by your intuition and spirit mostly. And again, you have the kundalini, the snake or the serpents here, and the staff. So you've been transforming and alchemizing all of this once, all of this inner turmoil and struggle that's been keeping you from your highest, from reaching your highest purpose and highest, I don't know what's with my brain since all the words is like eluding me, but reaching your divine timeline, or just generally being fully you in the present, in whatever form that is, and here with the Three of Wands, I love this card. It's so empowered, and it could be, if it's a work situation, I also see it as a way of finally feeling like you are finding your path. No, your path, but your pack. And you're getting into a, like when all of this is cleared out and you throw your arrows, your wands, and you dare to show up as yourself, that's when you're also gonna find your, find your sisterhood or brotherhood, or like both men and female, but just find that sense of belonging and of companionship. But for the most of you, I really get a feeling that this is all about you, your inner companionship, alchemizing those inner parts of you that's been in a struggle against each other, so that they can come together and all, work for you, and work for your highest divine fate. And when that, and that it's also has to do with what you're creating right now. So let me get one other. Just gonna have a look. tell me about this project? Yeah, this has been a really heavy journey for some of you. Just kind of just confirming that right away. 9 of Swords, 5 of Swords, and Justice again. So, yeah. This is where you're coming from. And I feel for most of you, you're already, like, you're already the raven realizing that you can just fly over the water and find your pack on the other side there. For some of you, you're still in this 5 of Swords, 9 of Swords energy. But Spirit is telling me that it's important that you know that the only reason you're pulled back there again now from having been feeling that you were, that you were getting better, you were feeling better, you were getting on track, and then suddenly feeling drawn back into it, and that kind of feeling of a bit of defeat of your fate not being in your own hands, and of just like, what's the point kind of feeling. That's about to clear. So if it haven't already cleared, know that that's about days. And also be aware that that part of you that is still resisting, maybe you can do a ritual or meditation where you're inviting that part in, or free writing or journaling where you really listen to that part, and talk to it and be like, wait, well, what's the worst that could happen? When when you know what it's afraid of, what's the worst that could happen? And then you also can continue healing that, because yeah, you're at the end of it. It's your mind. It might feel like it's a certain situation keeping you stuck, but it's in the mind, and whatever that needs to kind of go to ease up a bit before the physical solutions will be obvious to you. Yeah. Keep trying to put them. Oh my god. Okay, so what do whoever beautiful spirits watching this reading needs to know right now about this situation? Can help right now. Strength. A lot of you feel like you already pulled out so much strength in staying positive, holding yourself, holding the world, but holding yourself up, holding the world around you up. But embrace it. Embrace that you are that strong. Look at it as a dance. It's easier said than done. But this, for me, is more a confirmation of regarding what you need to know is that you are, you're not, in this card, you're not on top of it, but you are aligned with it. You're holding the world in your hand. And in this card also, she's calling in You see this kind of spirit energy around her hand and the leaves moving. She's basically just dancing, flowing. So, and 4-4. For numerology wise, is also such a number of knowledge and of teaching and, you know, being a teacher. And then you have 4-4 and 8, again, the abundance. So if you're feeling like you're getting to a stage now where you can't hold on much longer, you're getting fatigued and you don't know if you can hold that arm up there anymore, ask spirit and your helpers, you know, ask them to take it for you, ask them to lift it from you, and know that you are strong enough. I feel like that's such a cliche to say, though. It's also an acknowledgement about that you have been incredibly tough and strong, and that you are a gift to the world. Cleaning house. So yeah, that's what we've been doing, right? We've been cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. It could be about also mentally making space for you in your home, you know, really clearing out anything you don't want there energetically. No, physically, but I feel in this instance it's more about our own homes as our heads, our minds, and our bodies. For some of you, there might be a good thing to do a cleanse, like a body cleanse. Yeah, always check in with yourself and, you know, like trust your own body there of what's good for you or not. If it's good to do a intermediate fast and a cleanse, or you might be in a medical situation where that's not something that you should do. But there's definitely some clearing out, and it's already happening by itself, but to kind of help a bit here, it might be smart to add some more water and herbal tea and really make sure you only for a while listen and watch stuff that are nurturing you, like cleaning out all the kind of fear-based noise. For some of you, maybe you need to just take a few days out of social media. I mean, it could be good with more, but for most of us, 2 days in a normal, unless you can go totally remote, which I also advise, that's gonna be hard to do. So yeah, if you still feel stuck, then clear out your space. And there's this kind of scissors in this picture hanging here. I think it's scissors at least. And cut the cords, you know, brush out everything. Easier said than done, but really do what you can to clear out your own energy and to cut the cords to the things from your past that might hold you back. It's one more message that's been coming through whenever I look at this stone. Now the English word again, it's just kind of jumped my mind. I know what it's usually called. I'll probably remember it once I stop recording, but the name isn't the important thing. The message that came through, because usually I don't have this with me in readings. I have it in a box, a dream box that I have with some of my dreams. And this stone is really, for me, a connection to my grandmother who gave it to me when I was 6. And what's coming through is that listen into you have some passed on loved ones now that really want to come in and help you and assist you, because they are so proud and happy about the work you've been doing on the lineage and for them. And they know that you are open for that communication and support now. And even if it's not talking to them, just acknowledging and knowing that their presence as a supportive, kind of caring, nurturing robe around you. It's like they're holding their hands on your shoulders and just sending you tons and tons of, they're sending you strength and courage and love. So thank you for tuning in. And I almost want to say sorry for the reading being so long, but that's a habit I'm trying to get out of, saying sorry for things that I don't need to say, that I'm sorry for. So thank you for now and take care.